right, next up we have external relations.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Abby and I'm a senior.
Hi, my name is Arush. I'm a current sophomore here.
So as external relations officers, we're just going to be working on sort of field trips and other mentorship opportunities or internships that you guys can be a part of. And so we're just going to go over some of those. So you can start with the current
Yeah, so some current projects we're working on is trying to get Bloomberg to give TJHSST a free student subscription for access to research. We're also planning on reaching out to Princeton University's Investment Club with TJHSST to share ideas and collaborate with them. We're also trying to organize a Market Watch, which is just a virtual stock exchange competition. Essentially, it's a TJ-wide competition with all the finance-based clubs.
And so something that I started last year, but I didn't get to actually implement was, so there's this program called Investing Girls, and as you can probably tell, there's not as many girls as there are guys in this club, so we're trying to increase the amount of women at this club. And so this organization is part of the Council of Economic Education. What they do is they bring in instructors and they conduct workshops specifically for girls, and they basically give them lessons on personal finance and career exploration opportunities. So we're working on that, and I'm talking to them now, so that should be probably implemented in the next couple of weeks or months. Yeah. And then for field trip plans, so over the summer I was able to visit the IRS, and I had a private tour of the IRS, and so I met this person that worked there. She's an executive there, and her name's Molly Kane. So it'd be cool to, I guess, if you guys wanted to get a private visit of the IRS or the Department of Treasury, that would be something that we could do as well.
Yeah, so field trip I'm planning on doing is reaching out to Bloomberg in Arlington or possibly even the Carlisle group in Alexandria for a potential day in the office visit. We're still waiting on some dates. We're not too sure yet, but you can expect it's going to run both blocks from the school. And then some mentorships or some opportunities that we had is I have a family friend who's a venture capitalist down in California who's possibly willing to mentor or sponsor our club. Some things about him include is that he's a 3-time entrepreneur. He's a private equity investor. He's the chairman and managing partner at Joint Capital. He's also a partner at Code.
So I have my own podcast, and through that I met other female business owners. And so one of the person that I met, her name's Elena Yurley, and she has her own consulting company. And I talked to her about it, and she said she'd be willing to give high schoolers internships. So if you guys are interested in consulting and specifically financial risk management, that could be something that you guys could be a part of. And I also there's another guy, his name's Sean Clayton, and he's the CEO of a growth marketing agency, and he uses machine learning and AI in his practices. So if you're interested in that as well, that's something you guys could do as well. And then they're also super open to being helpful and just answering your guys' questions. So if you guys are interested in having a Zoom virtual session, that's
So the last thing I had was some exciting guest speakers that are confirmed that are coming to TJHSST this year. The first one is the same guy who's the guy who's willing to mentor / sponsor us. Same status, private equity investor, chairman, partner, etc. The second guy is an executive vice president at US Bank, and the third guy is a managing director of Georgetown University's investment fund. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have investment team.
My name's Arnav Gupta, and I'll be your investment team head this year. So a little bit about me. I'm pretty passionate about investing in finance, and I've been interested in the market and invested for the past 3 years. I've read about 10 finance and business books, from negotiating to sales to investing, and I've completed some certified courses that I can that I can teach you guys. And I've pursued market research on my own for the past 2 years. So some of the ideas I have for this year are a TJHSST newsletter. That's something we have not had in the past, and it'll consist of you guys writing stock pitches and articles or whatever you guys want. That would go to all over the school and popularize our club even more. Next, we'd have some podcast or a YouTube channel that we could have where we could showcase your guys' talent to the TJ community, and that would help you to get opportunities in the future. Next, we'd have some workshops and conferences that would be held later this year. So one would be a seniors only one for financial literacy and the journey past high school, and that would teach them about how to live their financial life in the future. next would be like a 24-hour TJHSST Investathon. I'm not sure if you guys know, but one other club, Machine Learning Club, they do a 24-hour hackathon. So it's an idea based on that. And also quarterly guest speaker panels. That would also allow you guys to get interested in the many future careers that could come. And some competitions that I have in mind for this year are Introductory, the Trading Challenge, National Personal Finance Competition, Yale, and then the Global Stock Pitch, which you two participated in one last year. So that'll be fun, and you guys will learn a lot.
All right, thank you.
Hey, what's up guys? I'm Faraz Ratani and I'm the head of tech. So pretty much what I do is I manage the website, and like stuff that we're gonna post on the website is like future competitions that are gonna happen, future events, and just any other resources like education. And some of my past experiences include me and my partner Erhan won the Global Stock Pitch competition. And through that competition, we got an internship at Grandeur Peaks, and I learned a lot of new finance things through that. And currently, I'm invested in the stock market. Some current projects that I've been working on is, we still haven't gotten out the TJHSST website, but we're working on that soon. We're also working on a Capital Youth Finance Symposium, which is like a TJ symposium where we have an inter-competition with other schools. And we're pretty much just having all the different investment clubs or finance clubs from different schools showcasing what they're doing that year. So I'm currently working on that. And one thing I don't have on here is I'm working on an education document so that all the new members of this club can look at that document so that we don't have to actually teach the basic information stuff. And finally, some of my future goals is I currently just applied to a student-led investment firm. So I'm hoping that I can get into that and that'll be a good experience for me. And I'm also participating in the Wharton finance competition with Erhan. Yeah, that's it.
Hey guys, I'm Naisha. I'm going to be your guys' secretary. I've been with this club for 4 years now, and I've handled all of the media that comes out of this club for the past 2 years. But something that I'm going to be doing for you guys is I'm going to be recording and seeing how each meeting goes. And this is why it's very important for you guys to make sure that you're getting something out of every meeting. But in case you're not able to come, I'll be here to help you get meeting notes and things like that. So some upcoming events, I really want to do some fun, I guess, like club bonding events, like having banquets after school and things like that. But also the Capital Youth Finance Symposium, that is a research conference. And as Faraz mentioned, that's going to be something where every single person who's a part of this club and part of other clubs, they can come and showcase their research, which is why it's very important for all of you guys to go and talk to the project leads that were mentioned before and make sure that you guys can get onto a project and do some research of your own this year. Yeah, thank you so much.
Much like the other officers, I'm a 4-year member of TJHSST. Also, I'm a Lucas officer, I forgot to mention. And I competed at the Wharton competition last year with OHM, and we won first place. Hopefully, we'll continue that for years to come. And I also have experience with like business case competitions, like Diamond, Color, and Blue Ocean. So, you have any questions about that, you can ask me. And then some projects for this upcoming year. I am working a lot on CYFS, which we will talk about later. And then I'll also help with the field trip, and then hopefully plan some type of bake sale fundraiser just to help with funds in the club. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Hi, I'm Arhan Mehta, your vice president. So some past experience is Faraz and I won the Global Stock Pitch competition last year. And after that, we got a paid internship at a hedge fund called Grandeur Peak, and it's based out in the West. And I'm also doing work at a student-led investment fund, just doing like research reports about different stocks. So some current projects I'm working on is the CYFS Stock Pitch competition. This symposium we're gonna have is like our main flagship event this year. And with our past experience in the stock pitch competition, we're gonna be working on that aspect of the symposium. Also, one thing is I want to make sure that TJHSST is a platform for people to be able to do research projects and passion projects related to finance. So that's something I want to promote at Investment Club. Some future plans I have is doing the Wharton investment competition. It's more prestigious than the global stockfish competition, so it's going to take more time, but I really want to do it. And then also, I'm really into math and CS and that intersection with finance. So I want to do more stuff related to quantitative finance.
All right, and I guess my name's Ohm. I'm the president. I've also been a TJHSST member for 4 years. So my first meeting was actually Friday A block. I went to Investment Club during COVID. So it was a pretty big time for me. Some things I've done in the past. I've won a couple of competitions. I went to the finals for the Wharton competition twice. Once my sophomore year, and then once again last year with the NICA. And we won it last year, which is obviously a great accomplishment. I also won a math modeling competition with another officer, Rashad, through our school's math modeling club. I did some cool things. I had a great opportunity to do research at Harvard Business School this summer, so that was a great experience to learn more about the school and the programs they have there. I interned at Leidos with a friend of mine who's up there, Neil, and I did some econometric modeling there. And lastly, I had a great opportunity to present at Morgan Stanley, just based on like some CD laddering and some personal finance things. So I've met a lot of people through there, and I hope to bring some expertise to the way that we lead the club here and the opportunities that we present. And then last thing, I love to take initiative. I love starting new things. Many of the projects we have going on are super exciting, and I can't wait for them to take shape over the next couple of months. All right, so future plans for TJHSST. How many of you guys are returning members, meaning you came last year or year before? All right, a lot. Well, hopefully, as now you've already seen a big difference in the club culture that we want to create here. So one thing I was inspired by was I was reading an article about Benjamin Franklin a couple weeks ago. One thing he did was every month he got together like some of the biggest people in the colonial society back then. And what they do is they just talk about what's going on in the business world, what's going on in the global world. And that's sort of the culture I want to bring here. I want to create a collaborative environment where you can look to the person next to you and maybe start a research project or some financial literacy project, something cool like that. Another thing I want to do is we've created an array of new projects, which we'll get into shortly, and I want to give value to everyone here. One thing that I've noticed at TJ is that you go to clubs to be selfish, right? You don't go to clubs to do things for other people. You want to go to clubs, get experience for yourself, leadership roles for yourself, projects for yourself, whatever. I understand that, and I want to make sure that Investment Club is a platform where you can do that, and we'll talk about more literally on the next slide. Next thing is international recognition. Anika brought up a great point. We are the #1 high school investment club in the world, right? We had the stats to prove it. We won the 2 biggest competitions last year. Go on your phone, search up the biggest high school finance competitions. We won both of those. Obviously, we're tough, and we have a reputation to keep up. So that's one thing we're really looking forward to this year. Becoming a top-tier club at TJ just comes into the project that we're holding. Next thing is creating the next generation of leaders in the business world. The business world is pretty small, right? You've got, 8 billion people in the world now. The higher you go in society, the shorter the circles become. So we want to make sure that all Investment Club members have the same equipment, not only to succeed in the finance world, but also maybe it's the biotech leadership, maybe it's computer science world, right? We want to make sure that Investment Club members will become the next leaders of the business world. And last thing, just do some more cool things. We have a lot of projects that some of the people over here are going to talk about, a lot of things to be excited for. And one thing I want to mention is that we only have 50 spots right now. Like we're trying to get a spot for officers only. We're trying to increase it to 75. But we are a highly coveted club. If you came to the activities fair, you saw a lot of interest there. So make sure if you're coming here, you're serious about it. I think we were talking about as an officer group, if we notice that people are just like last year, they would just sit around in the back and not do anything, we will actually just blacklist you from the club. There's a lot of people who want to come here, and I've had people DM me. Some people even sign up for the clubs and the chemistry commons just to come to today's meeting. So we want to make sure that we're using every spot wisely, and hopefully that goes without saying, but that's just something I wanted to bring up. All right. That being said, I'll talk about one of the biggest things I want to do this year, which is decentralized leadership. So over my 4 years at TJ, I've noticed that one thing about club culture, which I hate, is that it's all like leadership oriented. You go to a club, and if you don't become the president, that club has no value. And that's one thing I really want to change with Investment Club. So one thing that I've done this year is actually just pretty much hand out leadership roles for people who want to do things. And if I interviewed you over the summer, or if any of the officers interviewed you, one thing you want to realize is that we want to give value to people. If you want to take initiative and start a project, we want to give you the platform for it. Come do it for Investment Club, right? Don't go to another club. We'll give you an officer role here. You'll get the recognition for it. You can present it to the club members. That's what we do at Investment Club. So some of the bigger projects, we have TJBR, which Sheila will talk about later. We have a service project, which Philip will talk about later. And it's something I noticed that you don't have to hoard all the talent or recognition for yourselves. It's good to give leadership roles to everyone, right? So if any of you have any ideas for a research project, whatever, and think that an officer role could be made for you, literally make an officer role for yourself, and we could work together to figure out how could you contribute to the club as a leader, right? that's pretty much all I want to talk about here. Pretty exciting things, and as always, you can DM me if you have any questions about anything we covered today. All right, what's next? All right, Akshita's up next with Thomas Jefferson Business Review. Let's go.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Akshita, and I am also a four-year TJHSST member. So I wanted to create like a newspaper for the club where you guys could come out with like anything from how-tos, like how to create a resume, how to post on LinkedIn, case studies, opinion pieces, real-world uses, and data visuals. I have a blog of my own called Acts Out Loud where I do a lot of these things. So it's just for you guys to do it on a higher level, and basically you guys are going to be contributing and controlling the platform. So like almost saying decentralized leadership is where you guys can take control but also be contributing to the initiative. I'm going to be working with a team of 5, so I haven't figured out how I'm going to pick those 5, but I'll have like or someone post on Facebook. But there will be a website up like Faraz mentioned, and this will all be up there. And in regards to the symposium, we were thinking that everyone who comes here could like publish their whatever research on our platform. It's going to be online for the most part. I'm still talking to people like who did Threshold and like the yearbook to get it printed, and that's probably going to be like a quarterly thing or a yearly thing because it's not possible for weekly. But basically how it's going to work is there will be a drive, you guys will just like put things in, we'll edit it and post it out. But yeah, I will get more information on how I'm going to be picking the 5 for the team.
Alright guys, hi, I'm Philip. I'm a senior, I'm a 4-year member of TJHSST, and I'm going to be running our service party this year, okay? So what we're going to do is probably going to go to Wayneck Elementary School, which is the school nearby TJ, about a minute or so walk, or about a minute or so drive or so. We're going to go over there and do about a 40-minute lecture to them, teaching them about the importance of finance, importance of savings, what the stock market is, and get them prepared for life in high school, life past college, and learn about financial security. And so we're going to do this hopefully every single week. So I want a team of about 4 to 5 kids who are interested in A, the resume, B, help out the community, humanitarian work, and C, if anyone's interested in early child care, or reach out to your friends who want to do stuff like this. And tell them to reach out to me. Or we're going to do weekly or bi-weekly or every 2 weeks. We're going to go there and do about 30-minute, 20-minute lecture to the kids, and a 15-minute, 20-minute activity. And we'll be gone by 3:10 or so, back by 4. So you're not going to miss your bus or anything. And it'll be a pretty cool experience for you guys to teach kids and getting racks that way. And also I'm thinking about setting up like a one-day symposium or an inner-city event. We're going to go like an inner-city church, or like I have connections in Hispanic and in a massive Manassas church out there. We're going to do like a 2-hour symposium with kids, and have like a humanitarian arm for the club. So we're not just like a TJ like focus on finance and ourselves. We're giving back to the community and making ourselves look better. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay, so this is like a very new thing for Investment Club this year, and we've been like talking about hosting like an event with other schools outside of our club time for a while now, but this is actually happening, and it is the Capital Youth Finance Symposium. And basically what it is an academic conference, and it's planned for before winter break right now, hopefully December 9th. And it is the first high school or pre-college business econ conference in the world. And it's basically inspired by the lack of opportunities for high school students in business. Like, we kind of think like DECA and FBLA aren't very informative or tough competition, so hopefully this will be a way for people to showcase their research.
Yeah, just by show of hands, how many of you guys in the crowd are like sophomores or freshmen? Just like raise your hand. All right, so pretty much most of the crowd, right? One thing that I was doing when I was around your age was I was looking for a bunch of opportunities within this realm, and a lot of things I noticed that you have to be 18. Like, you have to be 18 to get an account. Like, you can get a custodial account, but for the most part, a lot of the finance opportunities that we have now are locked until you're an adult, which is unlike, all the bio and CS stuff, right? So one thing we want to do here is create a platform where you guys can showcase your work, maybe give a 10-minute presentation, maybe publish an article, right? These are all things that go into who you are as a person. We want to make sure that you have enough acumen so when you apply to clubs in college And even through like internships or when you're applying for a job, you can say, here's what I did in high school, right? Not even in college, in high school. And you can refer to this there. So we're in the works with a couple of schools right now. We're planning on reaching out to some more once we get a more like fundamental plan, once we work out the logistics of it. But the ideas are pretty much an academic conference. You get to have a platform to showcase your talents that you present at a regional conference. Obviously, this is part of the theme of making sure that we're giving out opportunities to all of you guys and the greater TJ community, and I guess to an extent the DMV community as well, to showcase your talents, right? So yeah, if you have any question about this, once again, just feel free to reach out. And yeah, that's pretty much all we have to talk about this.
Yeah, so speaking of the decentralized model, some research initiatives and mentorships that have already begun taking form is, oh, is it the wrong side? Okay.
These are just, all right, I can talk about this as well.
Okay, go ahead.
So basically the idea that we had, when we had our offering meeting, we wanted to inspire people to start research projects on their own. So all of you guys who are underclassmen, I think one thing you'll notice throughout like when you're researching like, how to make your college application better or whatever, there's a lot of people who say that research initiatives are great. If you're in biology or computer science, it's pretty straightforward, right? I think we have a lot of clubs for that, TJ Pharma, ML Club does a lot of work with there. But there's not really a club dedicated to like financial or economic or business research. And we want to be the spot for that. There's a bunch of big business research schools like Booth in Chicago, Kellogg and Northwestern, HBS is a big one, Wharton as well. And we want to make sure that we can sponsor people. So if you have an idea, whatever that might be, we can give you a role for that. Maybe head of quantitative financial research. I really don't care. If you want to take an issue for a project, we'll give you a role for that. And there's plenty of ideas. I talked to a kid when actually we were at the Wharton competition, and one research project he was working on is a finance times chemistry research project. So if any of you guys are interested in chemistry, what he was looking at is the markets of like the chemicals. I don't remember the specifics of it, but it was pretty interesting in the sense that he combined his passion for business and chemistry together and came up with a really unique idea. So you can sort of think of that when thinking about ideas. And this goes into decentralized leadership. If you have an idea for a research project you want to work on, we'll give you a role for it as long as we can work together, maybe like some sort of schedule and stuff like that. And we can also help with cold emailing, mentorship, or just finding professors to work with. I'm pretty sure majority of our leadership team has actually done research with a mentor and gone through the cold email process. So we have a lot of talent here to help the next generation.
Yeah, so some of the projects that have already begun taking shape is for content posting and creating lectures online and stuff, and that's with sorry, I want to.
Did you want to talk about what your goals are?
My goals?
Yes.
Sure. Well, instead of going the CS route, I was thinking about opening up a media company specializing in digital advertisement and growing other companies, like what am I trying to do here with this club. But this club's pretty big. I've been working with a few other clubs, running their websites, taking pictures for them, promotional things, outside organizations, and just doing more work, adding videography to my portfolio. Came to finance because I'm personally interested in finance also. I do investing under my mom's name, because I'm not sure how legal it is. But yeah, so I've been here last year too. It's a really interesting club. As Owen was talking about, there's a lot of opportunities to be had, definitely. So stick around, be creative, think of something for yourself, and the opportunity will come to you.
Cool.
The second one is a personal branding and career services initiative from Alina, who's our TJPF.
You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. So I'm Alina, I'm a senior at this school, and I've been at this club for a while as well. So what I bring to this club is I'm a really big debater. I've debated all 4 years, and we've had a lot of competitive success. So if you guys are interested in debate, you can ask me about that. But what I bring to this club is
public speaking, personal branding, persuasion, and how to present yourself, which is super, super important when it comes to investment, especially when you're going to competitions. You have to pitch a project, you have to present yourself to the judge, and any of that you can come to me for. I was thinking about maybe doing like one-on-ones, like mock interviews, or even just looking at your presentation to see how it looks in general and how you're speaking, etc., anything like that. So it's still in progress of like ideas I want to bring to this club, but anything like related to like personal profile and presenting yourself, and anything related to persuasion, pitching projects, you can come to me for. Yeah.
So I just wanted to elaborate a little bit more what I said about education. So since we only meet Wednesday B, which is about like a 40-minute block, we really want to utilize our time with research and different types of like specialized focuses on investment. So right here, you guys can scan the QR code. We also have a doc that we'll post on the website soon. But pretty much this just goes through like the basics of finance. So if you're like a freshman or anyone that's just really new to finance, that's totally fine. We have this doc for you, and it pretty much just runs down like different types of investing and different terminologies that you guys will need to know for this club. So yeah, I really recommend looking at the doc and scanning the QR code to see like what's inside there.
Yeah, and the main reason we're doing this is because a lot of feedback that we got last year was that we wasted pretty much we burned the first 4 months just covering what a stock is, when I'm pretty sure a lot of you know what a stock is. So if you're really new, Nisha and Faraz spent a lot of time putting quality work into here, and at the end there's a couple of links where you can just explore yourself. But pretty much, if you want to learn more about it, a lot of it has to be self-driven, and there's a lot of resources online. I was actually wondering here, I think we're running short of time, but if you have any questions, just ask any officers on like how they learned it, and I'm sure anyone up front would give you like some valuable insight.
Yeah, and these are some of our social medias. So we run on Facebook. Make sure it's really helpful if you guys all create your own LinkedIn. And our Instagram is TJ Investment Club.
Okay, raise your hand if you don't have a Facebook account. Raise your hand high if you don't have a Facebook account. Okay, other than those two, everyone should be joining the Investment Club Facebook group. A lot of the stuff that we're going to be doing is up there, and I think Ochita talked about it earlier. Oh, she had to go. But there's a lot of projects that we'll need people to work on, and with those projects come leadership roles. So more information on that will be on the Instagram and Facebook. And there was a bunch of people who couldn't sign up for the meeting today. So if you have any friends who couldn't make it, we'll have a recording of this meeting posted on our Facebook, and sort of like a meeting notes type thing posted up there as well. But yeah, make sure you join those because a lot of information opportunities will be on there. All right, yeah. Final remarks. If you haven't signed in yet, make sure to talk with Ms. Fisher to sign in. There's really not much else to say. I kind of kept it all, on the slides. Really, a lot of the things that we're doing here is making sure that each and every one of you in the crowd, or I guess if you're watching this afterwards, can have a platform to showcase who you are and really present your talents in whatever the finance, econ, business world, right? We're doing a lot of things that no other clubs are doing right now, and I think so far it's worked out really well. We have a big conference planned up. We have, publication starting this year. A lot of big projects. We asked earlier, a lot of you guys are underclassmen. So hopefully, maybe once all the seniors come back to speak in like 4 or something years, if they still like the school then, we can look back onto the projects that we started now, and hopefully you guys become the leaders in this world, right? Pretty much that's it. If you have any questions or like ideas or whatever, something you want to work on, DM literally anyone who's sitting up here today, and we'll get you in touch with us. But yeah, I asked to have questions earlier. Does anyone have any questions over whatever we did? Anything covered? Yeah. Sorry, you were really unlucky.
His question was, do underclassmen get the opportunity to participate in competition?
So competitions for the most part. All right, I'll just talk louder then. So right now, competitions they're pretty dense. Of course, you have the big ones like the Wharton Comp and the Global Stock Pitch. We'll talk about more of those later. There's a bunch online if you want to search them up, but most of them are pretty like trashy trading competitions where it's like make the most money in a week, win like $1,000, right? We want to sort of stray away from the competitions and focus more on value. The real value that you'll get from this club is working on personal projects yourselves. And like the idea I had was that, let's say you're getting interviewed like 10 years down the line, and they ask you, when did you start like your financial work? And you can say you started in high school and maybe point to like a paper or an essay you wrote and you got it published, right? That's my main idea with it. It's sort of like less about winning competitions and more about creating content and building value that shows your work that you can refer to later. Yeah, like that's a great question, right? Anything else along those lines of any of the projects we're going to do? Yeah. Internships around investment. We spoke about it earlier. I think Faraz and Arhan had a quick way. They won a competition and they got it. But you're pretty much hitting the same wall that you have to be 18 to get internships, which is why we're focusing more about getting those research opportunities, because that's a pretty straightforward way that you can get experience. But I think we'll talk, especially with the career project as well, on setting yourself up for internships later down the line. So let's say you're applying for an internship at JP Morgan 10 years from now, or actually probably in college. If we can give you the resources to succeed there while you're in high school, that would be the most beneficial thing that you get. Any other questions? You're probably to yell at me. All right, if there's nothing else, make sure you're signed in and join the